We are a founding member of the Positive, Inspired and Passionate. We are now. We are moving together. We are ambitious and driven. We are progress. We are change. We are prepared, honest and humble. We are the highs. We are the lows. We are the heartbeat of our community. We are the famous black and white. We are the dreams come true. We are the club of opportunity. We are the memories. We are the yet to come. We are Derby.
Complete faith in you lot as a group. The bench is significantly stronger than theirs and we'll make change when we have to. And I can't express it enough to you. You have to gas out, you have to be brave on set pieces, right? And I brought all them in the room, so I want you to look at them. Because they're the people that work hour upon hour upon hour trying to help you all the time. And they're the people that will be there at the end of it to congratulate you or to be sorrowful for you. But they're the people you're playing for. All the people on the fucking wing wall you're playing for. And you could achieve something great. You could. And all I ask is you give it your best. Give it your fucking best. If it ain't your day, fine, get off, I'll send one of the game changers on. It's absolutely fine. But you have to start off with the mentality that you're going out to win the football game. That you're playing fearless. And you have to accept the fact some things you do aren't going to be perfect. So you might not get the opportunity to hit the perfect shot, the perfect cross. You might lose the ball twice when you get out. Don't give a fuck. Get at him again. Get at him again. There's not much I regret about my career. The thing I do regret is I didn't live in the moment enough. I didn't.
Hello and welcome to the preview show from RamsTV. Derby County climbed back into the League One automatic promotion places at the weekend, and tonight they will try to stay there as they welcome Reading to Pride Park Stadium. 10 games in League One this evening, plenty could change in the promotion picture. And while Derby welcome Reading, leaders Portsmouth are at home as well. They're taking on Burton Albion. Third place Bolton are at home too, facing an Oxford United side who now have to find themselves trying to get back into the top six. Barnsley will try to get back on track away at bottom of the table Carlisle after a big defeat for them at the weekend. And there's a very interesting game tomorrow at London Road. It's Peterborough taking on Stevenage. But regardless of what happens elsewhere this evening, Derby County now have their fate in their own hands as they take on Reading. We'll hear more about the visitors' troubles a little later in the show. First, let's hear from Joe Ward, back in the Derby starting lineup for the last two matches, a pair of 3-0 wins.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good after a win, isn't it? Yeah, it's positive all around the club, around the team, and we've got to keep it going forward because it's massive, you know, the energy and positivity. So, yeah, two big wins.
It's a big contrast to go from back-to-back defeats for the first time all season to back-to-back wins. Does that show the character of the group coming through? Yeah,
it just shows, yeah. You know, clearly we weren't good enough, so we had to change that. And I feel like we've done that. And yeah, you know, 8 more to go, or whatever it is. So we just got to give it everything.
To focus on you, you come back into the side for that game against Port Vale. 3-0 win, 2 assists, arguably man of the match. That must have been exactly the performance that you personally needed.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I was saying it to a few people that I needed a good performance, especially at home as well. Yeah, I feel like, you know, a little bit written off by a few people, but obviously you just focus on yourself, and I've been doing that for a long time, making sure I'm right to step in at any time, and yeah, I got my opportunity and I took it, hopefully.
Yeah, I was looking back at the season so far for you. Started really well, and then you had that freak heel injury, I think. How much did that disrupt things?
Yeah, it was. Obviously, I had a good pre-season. I was feeling good going into the season. And yeah, it was disappointing, annoying to get. But it just happens in football, you just got to get on with it and recover well, and then try and get back to where you were, when before you got that injury. So yeah, I'm hoping I'm in a good place now, and it continues.
You talked about maybe being written off by a few. Do you use things like that as motivation to prove them wrong?
Yeah, 100%. It's just fire. You just want to prove everyone wrong, and I just do it for myself. If I'm fit and firing, just gives the opposition another person to worry about. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel I'm in a good place, and as a team we're in a great place. So just got to keep it going.
I've talked and had a lot of conversations throughout the course of the season with guys about the amount of experience, promotion experience in this squad. You've got one on your CV, of course. Do you guys ever, swap stories, talk about what you've been through, what might be able to help this time around? Yeah,
definitely. You always speak about it because it's good experiences, and it's good to share and get different opinions and knowledge off different people. So, and then you're hoping it helps in these situations. It might be a case where it's not going to plan or not going right, and then you might think like what someone told you. Do you know what I mean? You might take things on board. So, but yeah, we're in a good place. We've just got to keep it going, focus on ourselves, and push until the last game. Yeah, you're into the final stretch. 2 massive home games this week. How do you approach them? Just as important as every other game. Focus on Tuesday, most importantly. Go into it with positivity like we are. Take the game by the scruff of the neck and try and get a win. That's Joe Ward. Be shocked if he doesn't start for Derby once again tonight. Remember, if you can't be at Pride Park Stadium, the best way to support your team is by watching RamsTV, and tonight's game is available worldwide, including in the UK, so get your Game Pass now at dcfc.co.uk. Derby looking to return to the Championship 2 years on from that crisis campaign that saw them relegated. Unfortunately for tonight's visitors, Reading, their crisis is continuing. Handed another points deduction by the EFL late last month. Reading's ownership saga is now into its 4th year, and there is real concern right now about the future of the club. They're clear of the relegation zone at the moment, but that could change if more penalties are handed down, and the fans are trying to raise funds to cover an expected £1 million shortfall just this month. Head coach Ruben Selles has done a fantastic job in the circumstances, but saw his side lose to a late penalty to Wycombe at the weekend.
We are always honest there. We know it was not good enough in the first half. We know it was good enough in the second half to get something. We know that we are performing, but we need to be more consistent in what we do. We just make a quick analysis on that, and we know that in a couple of days we have another game, so it's not time to be disappointed. We may need to make a good analysis and then go for the next one.
And you touched on it there, it's Derby next on Tuesday night, another tough test coming up.
Yeah, we are looking forward to it. We want to be in that pitch immediately after the disappointment of today, and we will be ready to compete.
We played them not so long ago here. Is there much you can take from that game from an analysis perspective?
Yeah, I think you can take always some bits about those games, but you need to also analyse what they have been doing in the last games, and we will be ready for that.
That's Reading boss Ruben Selles ahead of tonight's visit to Pride Park Stadium. Time to hear from Derby's boss. We've been talking to Paul Warne about the historic season that Nathaniel Mendez-Lang has been putting together. He has more assists already than any Derby player has recorded in a single season, going back to when the stat was first recorded back in the mid-90s.
Not much motivation, no. He wants to do well. He gets frustrated when it doesn't go well. He's perfect in his life. If you look at him, if you go to his locker, it'll be immaculate. He's always immaculate. He's always, I don't know, it sounds a bit weird, but he always seems like perfectly moisturised. Everything about him is like bang on point all the time. So he struggles, he gets frustrated when things don't go his way. So as a player, he's easy to manage when things are going his way. If things aren't going his way,
he gets frustrated. I'm not saying he's hard to manage, because he isn't, but in the moment he gets himself in a state. But then all the top players do. If you see De Bruyne come off the pitch yesterday, like, you can see him, he's like raging, isn't he? So I think Nat's performances this year have been pretty phenomenal, really. And there has been times in the season that I've said to the lads on the bench, if anything happens to Nat, we're in trouble here. And you know I like to play with athletes, you know I like to play with pace, and obviously getting Corey in the building helps massively, although we need, to get him more game time, but it's difficult because the lads in front of him are doing so well, and Tom's hit really good form and he's really athletic, so there is other players, but I think Nat's performances this year have been brilliant. I don't think what he surprised me with this year as opposed to last year, and this credit to all the medical team and physical team and himself, is he just seems fitter. And to play for me isn't easy. I say this all the time. People can't walk around out of possession. I don't carry anyone. And I just think his dedication to keep himself in good nick and, then play the amount of minutes he has is testament to him. So last year we had a massive problem playing Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday with him. I did with a few. But this year he's really stepped up, and he's needed to, because he's, one of the most important players.
Big week continues for you on Tuesday with Reading. We know the issues that the club are having, but equally we know how sort of galvanising that can be for players, fans, managers.
Yeah, and obviously we know it quite well at this football club. So look, the team on paper is as good as any other team on paper. And when we played at their place, it wasn't a great night. I thought we didn't finish with anything first half, which was a problem, and we lost, obviously. And I still remember the game mainly for poor JJ, and we went down to 10 men for 10 minutes. Not that we would have necessarily got anything if we'd have stayed 11, but it was just a sad night for us, and it's just a good indication of this league, or any league in sport, that if you're not at the best, you're not at your best, and the opposition are playing well, you're going to lose. So it doesn't matter what the opposition is. I don't regard the Reading opposition any harder than the Bolton opposition as I do Pompey away. I just think if we're at our very best, we're hard to beat, and it's about us trying to get ourselves into that mind space. All right, here we go again. Hopefully Pride Park will be bouncing and think, right, come on lads, let's see if we can get another 3 points. So I fully respect what they're doing. They're really good pressing team, the best pressing team in the league, which can't be underestimated, because a lot of teams press now and make it difficult. They've got goals throughout their team, and they've got some players, especially Wingy, because I've worked with him before, but some goals in their team, and they're a real threat. So we're well aware of how good they'll be.
Same squad as the weekend?
Same squad, yeah. We've got Callum Elder and Craig Forsyth. Always sound a bit posh saying his surname. It sounds a bit Forsyth. So we've got them back in the squad, which is good. In a 20-man squad. So we're looking all right. I think it might have come a bit too soon for Tyrese Forner. He's still a little bit stiff in the back. So so we'll be there or thereabouts.
An injury update there from Derby boss Paul Warne. Let's take a look at the table. Portsmouth's lead is down to 5 points. Derby have a 1 point advantage over Bolton, with Peterborough and Barnsley 4 and 5 points behind the Rams respectively, both with a game in hand. Reading start the night 5 points clear of the relegation zone. That would be 11 points if not for the deductions from the EFL. It's looking increasingly likely that more problems for Reading will be the only way out of trouble for any of the sides in the bottom four. So that's how things stand ahead of tonight's game. Derby County hosting Reading at Pride Park Stadium. Remember, if you can't be here, you'll get the very best coverage of the game on RamsTV. Matchday Live with you from 7:15. We're available worldwide, including in the UK. So get your Game Pass now at dcfc.co.uk. And we'll leave you with this. Tonight's game is Derby's designated Her Game 2 fixture, celebrating International Women's Day last Friday and the role that women play in the sport. Here's a look at some of the important work being done by women here at Derby County Football Club. Goodbye.
So I'm Grace Charlton and I'm a Senior Data Analyst.
So I'm Lauren Asquith and I'm the Head of Lifelong Learning for the Academy.
Hi, I'm Lisa Beastie and I am Head of Regional Partners, Hospitality and Conference and Events.
So my name's Emma Drury, I'm Derby County's Disability Access Officer and Support Liaison Officer.
Faye Brooks, Graphic Designer.
Angela Forster, and I'm a broadcast content editor.
My name's Eve Pearsall and I'm an under-18s performance analyst.
Yeah, so I arrived at Derby as a sales assistant for hospitality, and it grew from there. So I'm part of a bigger, wider team. We work very much in tandem together to deliver hospitality, the conference and events, and also from a regional partnership point of view, myself sort of delivering inventory and so forth.
Literally everything from, I'll take ticketing stuff, so things like the ticketing system, make sales reports for the ticketing teams, the commercial guys, but also I take data out of a software called Skill Corner, which is all the on-field physical stats, and the first team use that to look at how the players have performed versus the opposition in the game in terms of all their physical on-field stuff.
So I'm a graphic designer at the club, so I do all the matchday graphics you see around the stadium. I work on social media graphics, signage graphics, I work with all departments. So Club dcfc and hospitality, I do marketing for them.
We film loads of training, lots of features, pre-match interviews, post-match interviews. Then on match days, you may see me on the gantry, filming different angles of the game. Or you may find me pitch side doing behind the scenes content for often the We Are Derby documentary that we put out.
You know, collating feedback from supporters, whether that formally, informally, identifying the key issues, so I can then go back and communicate that to the club, and also providing key information back to the supporters in a number of different ways too.
What's first?
Let's go build,
Yeah.
press.
Yeah. So we film and code training and match days for the under-18s, and then we provide like opposition analysis, so on other under-18s teams in the league, to the coaches to create pre-match, post-matches and like individual meetings for the players.
I oversee the education programme, player care and psychology provision. So we're looking at a holistic learning experience for our academy boys from the age of 9 all the way through to 21s. It was something that we looked at when we had a few staff changes, and we was looking at how we could make it a more joined up approach in terms of the different departments working together, but also wanted to be a little bit more innovative in terms of to set us aside from other Cat 1 academies. So we looked at the way we could structure things and how we could make the boys' experience and learning not only on the pitch but also off the pitch and kind of for life beyond football really.